think the reason for Mac's regression is because of Bill Belichick, or do you think this was always going to happen no matter what, even if they had competent O-line play, but or just this is just a regression on the quarterback?
I think like I can't put everything on Bill because it's sometimes like the players go out there and play, right? And I feel like Mac does take things like things get to his head a little bit. I feel like you can kind of see it. He
Yeah,
can't really get over mistakes like as he talks about.
yeah,
But I would say most of the blame I would put on Bill just because I feel like he has this roster constructed as if Brady is still on the team and can like he doesn't have that quarterback that can make guys better. You don't have that quarterback that can get out the ball out the pocket in like less than 2 seconds. You don't
yeah.
have that quarterback. Like is you drafted a quarterback as Bryce was saying that was limited. So like his ceiling, what was expected was like a Matt Ryan, which I was fine with, like a Matt Ryan ceiling,
As
right?
far
Which would
as
have been good.
as far as
Yeah,
play, because Matt
his
Ryan
play.
obviously has a better arm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. As far as play, like he was not a mobile. He was a pocket passer, QB who can throw it down the field, but it's not really consistent. It's not really even known for. I think the five you said his bread and butter was the air in the
The moon
40s,
ball.
50s, yeah, the moon ball. I like the 5 and 10 for him in the middle. I think the below blind offense would work well for him if he had a better offensive line and he actually had a wide receiver, like better wide receiver group. But he's not Tom Brady. He's not gonna make the guys around him better. He's not he can't really do like you need a support system around him.
Yeah, you can't
You
elevate.
need yeah,
Right.
you need a good roster around an average quarterback or below
But
average quarterback.
so is this Max regression is not, you say it's not all Bill, right?
It's him
Partially
getting in
Bill?
his head. Yeah, it's Bill's construction and roster has not helped him, but it's also Mac getting in his own head and letting that defeat him. I feel like Mac is not doing himself favors by trying to force things, trying to throw it like things that he knows he's not supposed to be doing,
Yeah.
like throwing it across the middle of the field 2 times in one game. And like and not take like taking sacks like he's not supposed to be taking like he's making a lot of rookie mistakes just because he's trying to do too much, but also part of that is because of the roster
By the
construction.
way, that interception he threw, and I know Bryson saw this because I know he catches this shit. I know you caught. I'm pretty sure you caught it too. But he overthrew Hunter Henry, and Hunter Henry was open.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was open.
yeah.
Hunter Henry was
It's just crazy
wide.
because he wasn't this inaccurate. Like okay, he's like he has not been like I'm not saying like a perfect passer, but like before these 2 games, like this is the worst 2 games, and this was bothering me, Bryson, because I like went on a like I said this in our like me and Bryson had like a debate if you guys don't know about Mac Jones, and I was going hard for Mac like you can't judge him now, you can't judge him now, give him time, you have to give him time, and he has the worst 2 games of his whole career. And I'm like, the first game, like, you know what? It was a bad game. He'll
It's a
hopefully get a
fluke.
little bit
It's a
better.
fluke.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't think it was I like he had like a bad game. I'm like, he's not gonna be this bad again, and he goes to be this bad again. So I'm like, dang, okay, yeah,
Nostradamus Bryson. He's like he saw the future.
yeah. I was like, I'm not going for a bat for Scotty. Like at this point, it is what it is.
Oh,
I think both of them would be helpful. Like I don't think like he would play like a lot of people like play his last snaps in the NFL. I don't think that's the case. I think he can benefit from new scenery. I just don't think he's gonna be ever be like a top 10 QB. Never.
Bryson, what do you think? Do you think Mac it was just always going to be limited, and this is what we're seeing now is what he always was, or do you think Bill Belichick's to blame for some of his regression?
Well, like I think that Bill would probably tell you that Mac Jones hasn't played well at all, and from Bill's perspective, he really has done a lot for Mac Jones. Now,
Hmm.
I know that sounds crazy, but he signed Johnny Smith, he signed Hunter Henry. I mean, Aguilar's looked decent in Baltimore. Johnny Smith has looked pretty decent too. Like
Yes.
like like we said, Bill, I'm pretty sure, except for the offensive line, is thinking that with decent quarterback play, they win a lot of these games. I know something that Lombardi always says is like the Patriots are always down. They're always down 7-0, and then with the kind of offense they have, when you get like I'm pretty sure I've told this to Brian too. When you get down 7-0 and you're the Patriots, you're basically down 21 points, and the other team knows that. So they're always fighting an uphill battle because when you have Mac Jones as your quarterback, you're not going to get those explosive plays. And the
Yeah.
Patriots don't have those guys that will create explosive plays either. So it's really a double-edged sword. Like I can see the argument for, well, Mac Jones isn't playing well because the things around him aren't the greatest. I totally agree with that. Like if he had a better offense, that would be great. I just think that he's a limited quarterback, and like and
Kim,
the thing that people the thing that people will say, and they'll try to like, they think they've owned you, is they'll say, well, he would do really good, in San Francisco and the greatest offense in the NFL right now with probably a top five offensive mind of the last 20 years. Like that's not an own to say that a quarterback could walk in and play okay in that system. Like that's
Yeah,
not an own at
Yeah.
all. Like tell me
absolutely.
about what Mac Jones would do and like
See,
with the Jets or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mac is going to be a product of his surroundings, and Bill Belichick. I almost can feel this in my bones now, where Kirk Cousins gets released or something like that, and Bill,
Mhm.
like I'm pretty sure Bill's like, all right, defense is pretty good. We have a couple weapons. We've got a lot of money. Let's just sign Kirk Cousins. We won 7 games with Cam Newton, and we've won some games with Mac Jones. Let's just get a guy that we know can play football out there. You can hear him saying it right now.
yeah.
He's going to sign Kirk Cousins, and he's gonna draft a few weapons and with that high pick.
I mean, look, I don't disagree with either one of you. I think Mac is a product of his surroundings. I think Megan said it, Bryson said it. I mean, I honestly can't say anything to it because you guys put it so well. I also think that, in some terms, it's not all on Bill Belichick either in the term that there's been certain plays out there that have been left on the field where it's just the players making the mistakes. It's not really the coach himself, just a decision that he make directly, or it's just them shooting themselves in the foot or taking stupid penalties. But I will tell you this, that I do feel his coaching has kind of teeter off a little bit. There's some decisions there that I don't like. I mean, I know for a fact, me and you, Bryson, always talk about all the time. Like, why is Demario not getting enough playtime? Why is Demario Douglas not getting enough playtime? Why is practically the receiver who looks like who create the most separation on the field? He can create the most yards after the catch. Who seems to be the most electrifying or at least exciting? Who's got the most zip when he gets the ball in his hands? Is not out there. And guys like Parker and Juju, though I think my biggest gripe with Bill Belichick is the offensive line and the rotating bodies that he's put at right tackle. I think Calvin Anderson was a trash signing. I think Riley Reef obviously didn't work out. He's hurt. I think he's on IR. He's done for the year. I don't know exactly what's going on there. You know, then you draft 3 interior guys, and they're not that great. Dewan Jones is sitting there, and you don't take him. And you draft Jake Andrews, who just basically sit idly in your bench and do nothing. I don't know what he's supposed to be doing. Um, there's certain moves that I don't like. Not retaining Jacoby. I could see why you didn't retain Jacoby, because I think you had a vision of maybe like you want to get a guy like Juju who can create more yards after the catch. But obviously, also the contrast to that is that Jacoby Myers had already had a repertoire with your quarterback. So, and he was someone who was comfortable and had a connection with the quarterback. And you're trying to build off something positive, anything positive in your offense. You would think that you would try to just at least retain that guy and just build more, add more on top of that. On top of not having a number one wide receiver, I can also, by the way, I can totally see the Kirk Cousins things happening, where they go and get Kirk Cousins and maybe they go and get a left tackle, in the draft. I can totally see Bill with the top 5 pick, and he'll just take the best tackle
Left
available,
tackle, yeah.
and he'll just sign Kirk Cousins, and he's like, all right, let's run it back. Let's we have a couple. It's like you said, we'll have a couple of weapons here, there. Then maybe we'll draft a 4th round wide receiver from Chattanooga State University, some D3 college safety, and let's run it back. But um, I don't know. There's a lot of singular questions that I have about the roster building. It's not even just about the offense. It's just about draft decisions and certain guys that it's kind of worn me off to Bill Belichick and in his style. I don't know if the style itself is outdated, if it's antiquated, if he feels that, like you said, like maybe in his mind he's done enough and the quarterback's just let him down, or maybe it's just a combination of both. Maybe the quarterback play has let him down, because Mac is obviously not good enough, and also he's let him down because he hasn't seen, like Megan said, he hasn't seen that he doesn't have 12 back there, so he has to kind of add more juice to the offense in order to create more offensive points. So I honestly, you could give 10 different reasons, and all 10 different reasons could be correct, because there's just so many problems with the Patriots that you could go up and down the roster, and it's just not good. Nothing has panned out for them as far as, especially this offseason. Like, there's
Mhm.
really not a single move that I've seen like, oh man, they nailed that one, except for drafting Gonzalez, and that's about the only move you could say that they nailed this offseason.
And we all knew that was gonna, like, that was something
Yeah,
that everyone rooted for. I would imagine though, like, I want to touch on a little bit what you said. Like, imagine if we had Myers, there's definitely some third downs. I think that would be converted just because like that was his blanket, and you could count on that. But I do have a question. The reason with Bill Belichick, his fault. The only reason why I think you have to consider it is because I feel like not just Mac, but every player comes in here, they have a drop off this
mm,
past few years. Like,
yeah. Like Bryson said it.
every
John
on
Smith,
offense.
Nelson Aguilar's looked. He.
Jacoby Myers even looks better in Las
Oh,
Vegas than he
everyone
ever
looks better.
did. And
Yeah,
then Brian Hoyer looks better in Las
everyone looks
Vegas than he looked in New
better.
England.
Yeah, everyone looks
Like
better.
everyone looks better. So it's like there's something with the development. Offensive line has really dipped since Scar left. And even then, like even Scar left before and then we had the guy flee from the Giants that he brought in from coaching. I forgot his name. Brian was Brian something, and he was coaching all line. Awful. Like I think offensive line too. He was depending a lot on Scar for quarterback. Like this is guys that he was depending on that was great, and then he hasn't really replaced those guys offensively. These offensive minds that were helping him out.
Yeah.
And we thought this because Bill O'Brien is back. Oh, that's going to help out a lot. But Bill O'Brien's handed this roster. It's downfalling, and
I don't
it's
know.
just a mess.